What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and we are with the great Brian Daigle, everyone. Everyone give him a round of applause. 81 away from the big 10K. So if you are in the live chat and you haven't already, go and smash subscribe on Tottenham on Tour. Brian, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good. It's another day in paradise. Another day with you and the We Are Tottenham TV community. We've got a North London derby against the filth. So it's always a good day.
Yeah, it's funny that this North London derby is against the filth, because I don't remember a North London derby ever against anyone else apart from the filth. But let's put them in the mud once and for all, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, well, put it this way. As I said, we won the very first North London derby at Wembley in FA Cup semi-final. So why not continue this and win the very first ever North London derby outside of London?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get into all of the North London derby stuff a bit later on in the stream. But first and foremost, we have got a Tottenham update to get into today. And we're going to talk about Jed Spence first and foremost. Paul O'Keefe and Sammy Mockbell both confirming that Jed Spence is currently in contract talks with Tottenham Hotspur. Details and structure to be agreed, but discussions are well underway. And if memory serves me correctly, wasn't he the last first team player to get a contract? Because he got one in October time last season, didn't he?
Bergvall would have been the last
sure,
one.
Yeah, true. But I mean, Spence did get one fairly recently, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he got one. I think he got one this before the start of last season. And we'll see if this gets done before the Bentancur one. And if it does, then you got to start thinking what the hell's going on with Bentancur. But yeah, it'll be to get him tied down and to commit his future even more to Tottenham Hotspur. It's only a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think he did very well last season, obviously kind of his breakthrough year at Tottenham. And I'm expecting more because when you're looking at Spence, like he had that unbelievable period in the season. And I felt like when Udogie came back, he kind of went off the boil a little bit. So let's hope for some more prolonged consistency for Jed this season.
Yeah, I think as well, his form went when he kept getting switched from left to right right to left. And I think he's trying to stake his claim with that tackle on Porro yesterday, wasn't he? It was like, right, here we go. I want some playing time. I'm going to take you out. But yeah, no, him signing for Spurs will be a great bit of news.
Yeah, I know, I agree, and I'm definitely backing that one. Another one that could be getting a contract is Mikey Moore, as Nazar Kinsella says that Tottenham winger Mikey Moore is expected to sign a contract extension before moving on loan to Rangers in the next 24 hours. They're expecting that to be confirmed, so that's also music to our ears because Mikey Moore's contract was actually a very pressing issue.
Very much so, and especially with him saying he wants first team football, to make sure that guy is tied down, because we all know the capabilities this guy has. We all know what a talent this guy could be and has shown at when he's been playing in the youth levels. But to have his contract tied down and his future tied down is a big deal for Spurs, because he is one that in a few years will be, if he reaches the potential we know he's got, absolutely vital to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, and I feel like this loan could really be the making of him. We saw what he could do, the talent that he had in the Europa League, in the early stage of the Europa League last season. Just that game against AZ Alkmaar alone, where he just terrorised that left-hand side in that second half. And, you know, Ferencvaros as well in a couple of moments in that game. He looked really good on the right and the left. So I think Mikey Moore, I'm a big believer of Mikey Moore. I have been since even before he made his debut for Spurs. And this is just more music to my ears, because I think Mikey's going to be a massive player for us. Let him go out on loan, let him get consistent minutes, get the goals, get the assists, and come back and fight for that spot on the left-hand side.
Agreed. Completely, totally agree. And obviously going to Scotland is going to be a very tough test for him, obviously at a young age, with the physicality, with everything going there. And this can only do him the world of good, getting regular minutes in a league, obviously not the same level as the Premier League, nowhere near, but
just as physical though, maybe even more physical.
Exactly, and 4 games a season guaranteed to be more physical. Yeah, with the old firm, but he is going to get vital experience and minutes in his legs and come back a much better player just for this loan period. And I think it's a very wise move from Tottenham.
Yeah, totally agree. And next one is kind of interesting about Yves Bissouma. Gazzetta dello Sport saying that West Ham are considering signing Tottenham midfielder Yves Bissouma. Spurs value him at 15 to 20 million euros. What do you think about Bissouma to West Ham?
I smell a player exchange with Paqueta.
I'll take that, I'll take that.
I smell a player. We were talking yesterday about player exchanges, weren't we? And the rumours have been getting quite stronger and stronger regarding Paqueta. So maybe there is something in that. Maybe there is, or it could be just a straight buy. But I think we all know that we've got to get rid of some midfielders and bring in some real quality. And Bissouma with 1 year in his contract. So if he goes to West Ham, I'm fine with it. If it's a player exchange with Paqueta, then Spurs have got a good deal.
If Bissouma does go to West Ham, right, and let's say in a hypothetical world that you are in the stadium at some point next season in a Spurs-West Ham game, would you boo him?
No.
Nah, me neither, to be honest. Like, goes with my blessing, my complete blessing.
Yeah,
maybe during a game, just like to put him off a little bit, I'll give him a few boos and jeers, but it won't be out of malice. It'll be more out of just kind of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but
well, it's like with Kyle Walker-Peters. If they leave because they were deemed surplus to requirements, going to West Ham, I've got no problem with it. Go to West Ham, didn't work. It would be a bit different if he was kicking his toys out the pram and was like, look, I want West Ham. Then you're talking something different.
yeah.
If he goes to West Ham, good luck to him. Good luck to him. Didn't work out at Spurs. We needed to move you on. We did.
It would be a kind of complete story of how this West Ham Spurs rivalry is if they end up at the start of the season with Bissouma and Kyle Walker-Peters, and we've ended up with Kudus and Paqueta.
Yeah, but we don't do business. We don't do business. Yeah, it would be a sign of the times. You would think that, or you would know that Spurs have got the better end of the deal with the two players that we're talking about compared to the two players they've got. But yeah, it would be a strange. I think what we've had before, they've had Matthew Everington, that I don't think came directly for us. I don't think they've had two former Spurs players in the team at the same time. And I think this. Oh no, West Ham, we've had Canute, and we've done
They
that.
had Robbie Keane.
Oh yeah, and we've had Parker and Defoe in the same team. So, do you know what? Go to West Ham with my blessing, with our blessing. It just hasn't worked out, has it? He's had appearances and times, periods where he's been unplayable, where he's been sensational, but it's very few and far between.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Just the consistency is just never been there from Yves Bissouma, and if you can't get him out of the club, even if you get a player like a João Gomez that can fill in that role for a number of years, but if you can't get one of those players at this moment in time, like a Douglas Luiz or like a João Gomez, a João Palhinha as a stopgap for 1 or 2 years, I think is a massive upgrade still.
Correct. Agreed.
Now, let's talk about a Leicester player called Bilal El Khanous. And a publication called The Bleacher Report says, not the most reliable source, so let's put out there first and foremost, saying Leicester City's Bilal El Khanous has now emerged as a significant target for Tottenham and could be available for around £25 million, while it's also rumoured that the Morocco international actually has a £22.5 million relegation release clause in his contract. Tottenham could also face competition from the likes of Newcastle and Crystal Palace. Brian, what is your opinion on this one?
You know my opinion on this one. Here we go. I'm either going to ruffle feathers or have people agreeing with me. Now, I've got to say this, because I've heard it. I've got to say this clearly so people can see where I'm coming from. We were told that this needs to be a springboard for success. We have been told we need to win the Premier League. We want to win the Champions League. And the way we are going to do it is, if this goes ahead for the third year in a row, by a player from a relegated team that, what a shock, has a relegation release clause, won't be high on wages, when we are told that we need Champions League football and Champions League revenue to attract the players and to pay the wages. Now, he could be a good player. I don't dispute. I don't dispute. I put Twitter. People were saying to me, well, look at Roy Keane when he went to United. I was like, yeah, but look at the players around him. Then we had people go, we bring in players and put them into the first team when we haven't got that quality around them. People even said to me, Bale and Walker. Bale and Walker came in 2009 and 2007 and had pure quality around them. Plus, I've got no problem with signing players from the Championship. No problems whatsoever. But literally, if you're going to go into the Champions League, you need quality around them. You need quality around them. And I don't think anyone has said, do you know what, before all this, let's go get this guy. We've got the money, we've got the football that should be enticing them, and we're doing this. So, like I said, he could be a very, very good player. And all these other players that we're talking about that have come from the chat, like Elise, Eze and all that, they haven't come into their teams to play Champions League football. This is Champions League football. This is what's happening at this football club now. Like last year, when we signed Archie Gray and Odebear, and it's like, there you go into the Tottenham Hotspur first team. The quality's not there. He could be a great addition if we sign some pure quality around him, but we're doing it again. And like you said, this rumour could be nonsense. It could be nonsense. But for a guy that says we want the Champions League, for a guy that says we need the Premiership, for a guy that says we want to use this as a springboard for success, going back to a relegated team for a third year in a row to pay a relegation release fee is not what Spurs fans would have had in mind.
I get that, and you know me and you, Brian, we usually agree on a lot of topics surrounding the club. And in terms of going back to a relegation side and picking up these kind of players to try and kick us on to go and win a Premier League or win a Champions League, look, I completely agree with you on that aspect. Spurs are not, and we're never going to be winning the Premier League or the Champions League this season. I think both of us can agree on that. I mean, the top four is the top four this season. If we sign Rafael Leao at left wing, I still can't see us breaking that top four. Bilal El Khanous is a very, very good footballer. He is. He's a very, very good footballer. Both feet, trickery, can thread the ball through the eye of the needle, very creative. Is he a Gibbs White? No, he's not a Morgan Gibbs White, obviously. You know, Morgan Gibbs White was one of the best players in the Premier League last season. El Khanous was playing in a Leicester team. He's 21 years of age, and he's just trying. I think he's had his first year in the Premier League last year, and I think by all accounts his team had a shocking year, but he himself had a very good year and impressed a lot of fans across the Premier League last season. And you know, saying that no Spurs fan had El Khanous on their agenda. I've actually seen a couple on Twitter saying that we should have gone for him before his name was even linked to us in the press. I think he's a very good footballer. Did I have him on my list of targets when we were going into the window? No, I didn't. I've looked further into him, and I think he could be a very good player for Tottenham Hotspur. And when you're talking about being surrounded by quality, you're looking at the number 10 position, which he's number 10. Maddison, Kulusevski and him, I think is a very good roster of number 10s. Obviously, when you're looking at the drop-off from Maddison, Kulusevski and Gibbs White to Maddison, Kulusevski and Khanous, that is a drop-off, and it's not the kind of target I had in mind because I wanted to go for a more established player like a Morgan Gibbs White. But who is that established player that we can bring in right now? Who is Prem-proven in a number 10, apart from someone like Mikkel Damsgaard, that we can bring in right now?
And let me ask you this another way. Would Spurs have gone for this player if there wasn't a relegation release fee? Would Spurs...
Maybe.
This is the thing. Like I said, I don't deny that he's a good player. I've not once said that he's not a good player. We're going into this window where the big clubs have strengthened dramatically with elite quality that walk into their first team. Mm-hmm. Look at Manchester United, who are about to probably get Sesko, Cunha, and Webo. They've revolutionised the whole front line with genuine quality. Genuine quality. They lost the final. They haven't got Champions League football. Yes, they're Man U. They're a behemoth. They're a massive football club. A Man U. This isn't what we were told. This isn't what we were promised. Like I said, I don't mind if he comes. I'm saying we need quality around them.
I agree with you. I don't disagree.
That's the part I'm getting at. I don't deny that he's a good player. I don't deny that. I'm not saying that he's not a good player. But when we went into it, like we did with the 150 million, like we always do, this is the season Spurs go big. This is the season Spurs make a difference. This is the season the money makes a difference. This is the season the stadium makes an impact. We're going into the Champions League. The Champions League, We're playing four cups this season until obviously we're knocked out of whatever it may be, and this is what we're doing.
Look, I think if we were to sign him along with genuine quality on the left-hand side in the number 6 and potentially at left back as well, then I'll be delighted. If it's just him,
that's different.
If it's just him and Mohamed Kudus and Kota Takai, then obviously we've had a shocking window and people need to be held accountable for it. But I think that we need to wait and see who else we bring in, because there's obviously the heavy rumours with João Palhinha, who you would describe him as genuine quality. So if you bring in a João Palhinha genuine quality, Prem proven, and Mohamed Kudus genuine quality, Prem proven, alongside a Kanous and a hopefully genuine quality on the left hand side, then we're getting there, aren't we?
That's what, like I've said this whole time, what I'm discussing right now is, with everything going dead right now, with the big deal that's gone and done and only to, this is where we've gone down to now. When, like you said, there's players out there in other positions, forget just this number 10 kind of position or 10-8 kind of position, other areas need addressing. And this is not, well, like I said, we are running the clock down now on the transfer window. And it just blows my mind. And listen, like I said, I think he's a good player. But if it's just him, I want to see genuine quality come into this football club first, in positions that are desperately needed. Like we'll find out when Destiny's done, we need that number. And this is what it looks like at the moment. And it's just, like I said, springboard for success. We want to win. We need to win the league. We need to challenge. We need Champions League money to pay the wages. Sonny probably going as well. That's another huge wage person off the bill. So we need a left winger of quality, genuine quality, but no less trigger a relegation release fee.
But I genuinely think Kanous it would surprise a lot of people by coming into this club. I think he's a player that would get a lot of people not excited by signing him in terms of in name, but when he's on the pitch playing for us, I think a lot of people will be very happy with him if he was to sign for us. The one thing I do question is he's a bit lightweight. That's the only thing I question him on. So I think from genuine footballing ability, I think he's brilliant. I really do. And, we'll see what happens, but it all depends on if we do bring him in, what we bring him around him. That's what your main gripe is right here, right now. So, so it's not on him specifically. So when we're talking about him specifically, it's not a bad signing.
Him specifically, I think he's a very good player. I'm just saying that once again, Spurs go shopping in the bargain basements when we're told we need this to go act like a big boy and go act like a big club, and we just don't. This is nothing on the play. Like I said, this is nothing on the player. This is Tottenham once again doing things this way. I think he's a good to very good player, but this isn't when we. Like I said, when we got told we got Champions League football, not one person would have said, like, right away, who's on your major shopping list to get Champions League football and compete.
I get it.
That's the thing. This is, like I said, anyone that's mistaking this from me on misreading this, that I'm having a go at the actual player, no, it's Spurs doing what Spurs always do, and it's just accepted.
But look, I get it, but we just need to wait and see what actually comes in. I'm very frustrated with the way the window's gone so far. Yeah. We've spoken about it many times. I'm very frustrated with the way the window has gone so far. But a player like him does excite me. And I feel like, however frustrated I am, we still need to wait until the business is done, said, and then we can hold people accountable for it. But right now, there's no point in getting overly angry about they said this, they haven't delivered on that. The time for delivering hasn't come and gone yet. It's still available.
Again, Ben, that part I agree. But if we look at our recent history, or look at our history with the market, then let's play the stats, let's play the odds, and I know where I'll be putting bets on.
Yeah, then that's fair enough, and that's fair to say, because we've been here, we've seen it, and we've got the T-shirt. But let's just see what happens. And come September the 1st, September the 1st, if this is all we've got, then everyone's in their very right to get angry and irate about what's happened, because we won't be ready for the season.
Correct.
But anyway, let's move on and let's finish off the Tottenham update talking about Ilya Zabarnyi as Fabrice Hawkins, RMC, says that Tottenham are ready to pay the €70 million for Ilya Zabarnyi, but the player only wants Paris Saint-Germain. With his support, PSG continue to discuss and have less than €5 million gap with Bournemouth. However, there has been no agreement yet. This one surprises me, and this one confuses me a little bit, because why are we ready to pay €70 million for a centre-back if Romero is supposed to be staying? I just don't get that.
Yep, and like I said, it looks like he only has Paris Saint-Germain in his mind. And like yesterday, when we heard the news about with Rodrigo, we're either pay the transfer fee but not the contract, or the other way round, we can't compete with PSG, can we? We just cannot, even if we tried our hardest. And like I said, the longer this rumour goes on, it casts a bigger shadow over Romero's future, doesn't it? Because that's the only reason that we'd be willing to drop this amount of money on a defender. As good a defender as he is, and a great season he had last season, it just throws more shade over the Romero, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it just very much confuses, unless they are just throwing Spurs' name out there to get PSG to hurry up. However, if you're just going to throw a name out there, I doubt you'd be using Spurs' name. Why not use someone of a bit more stature? But it just, I don't know.
Oh, is it, mate? Like I said on my rant on Tottenham on Tour, Tottenham are the exact team to do that.
Why?
That's what we are. Because
why would Tottenham scare PSG?
No, we've become the stocking horse where they'll just chuck Tottenham's name in like a Luis Diaz. We'll do the work or the rumours, then they'll push the deal through. Maybe it's Bournemouth using us, the mighty Bournemouth using us. Or, like Gibbs White, we now become a bargaining chip for the agent and the player to get a bumper contract. So Tottenham are the stocking horse. We are the bargaining chip. Just throw Tottenham in the mix as the middleman and the deal gets done.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, if that's the case and you're throwing Tottenham's name in the ring saying, look, Tottenham are ready to bid 70, though PSG, you got to get to that 70 or Tottenham are going to swoop in and get him. But Zabarnyi don't want to join Tottenham. He wants to join PSG. So why not throw in someone's name that Zabarnyi would actually be willing to go to?
Because it's always us, the rumour mills and the ITKs and everyone love to chuck Tottenham in because it gets all clickbait, doesn't it? And gets the meltdowns going. So good times. Good times. We're going for players that don't want to come. With teams like PSG, who will blow us out the water, and a European the real European champions. Won't be Super Cup champions, that'll be us. We'll be saying Super Cup champions. But it is what it is, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But look, that is the state of play at this moment in time. No real serious links, but I guess the key takeaways there are the Jed Spence and the Mikey Moore contract situation. So that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we've brought to you today. But let's move on and let's go to the... Let's go to the North London derby, shall we? Match preview for the North London derby, a game that just means so much to all of us, whether it's played in London, whether it's played in White Hart Lane, Tottenham Stadium, Highbury, Emirates, Wembley, Hong Kong. It don't matter where it's played. This is always a massive, massive, massive day. And, you know, they try to tell me this is a friendly. This ain't no friendly. There is never a friendly when us two come and play each other, is there, Brian?
It's the biggest oxymoron, putting Tottenham and Arsenal and then saying the word friendly.
Yeah.
There just isn't a friendly. And it's going to be interesting to see a North London derby this early, isn't it? We always love North London derby day. Well, we've guaranteed a third, and hopefully there'll be a fourth and a fifth in the Cups. But to know that we've got 3 North London derbies, as a fan, on both sides is always a wonderful thing. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the last time we played them in a pre-season friendly not long ago, I think we had Conte. Was it Conte? I think we had Conte. And
when Pierre Højbjerg went for Arteta.
That's what I was saying. It was like they tried to dress it up as a friendly then, and then Højbjerg is there squaring up to Mikel Arteta. So let's see who does that role this week.
Yeah, and we won that one as well, didn't we? So that's a hat-trick. So
1-0, yeah.
Yeah, we won that 1-0. We won the first FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, and it's lucky for Spurs when the games are the first. That's really Chaz and Dave need to come back. Chaz and Dave need to come back with that one. But yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to it. It's 7:30 kickoff in the morning for me. I will be up. I will never miss these games, and I'm sure people around the world are very, very excited for this.
Yeah, well, how do you feel about it though? Because a lot of people saying that this should never be a pre-season game, Spurs against Arsenal. Do you feel the same?
Well, you know what? You mentioned that mind one at White Hart Lane, and as much as it is worrying because the tackles will be flying, we know this. They're not going to say to each other, "Do you know what? Let's just treat it like an exhibition. Let's go easy and prepare." That's not going to happen. So you're always worried about the tackles and injuries. But I am one that I would have as many North London derbies as you physically could cram in. This is what it's all about. So I do get worried with injuries, but what a way for Frank to get his first team out, and hopefully we'll see his first team and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the team, we'll get into the predicted lineup a bit later. But do you feel that both teams are going to go very strong, and now maybe with these games coming up, the Arsenals, the Newcastles and the Bayern Munichs, you'll start to see really how we're going to look in that game against PSG?
I think you have to. Like we said, a lot of us will believe that pre-season friendlies results don't matter. It's getting the manager's instructions onto the pitch and feeling comfortable, ready for when showtime kicks off with the Premier League Super Cup for us. But now it's this game. It's Premier League rivals and Bayern Munich. These are serious teams. These are serious teams, and we're now getting ready for the Premier League season ahead. And I think Thomas Frank now has to get an idea in his mind of who his team is, what formation he wants to go with, what suits him stronger. And there's no better way to test it than against not big rival, but squads of the caliber that we're about to play.
Yeah, which does make an interesting dynamic, because obviously we've only got one recognised left back in the squad, which is Ben Davies, so he's probably going to have to play. Maddison actually played part of the 11v11 in the open training, so I expect him to be available for selection. However, Tell took a knock to the knee in the open training and he went down hurt, so I'm not sure what state he's in. And Dom Solanke was nowhere to be seen on the pitch for the open training, where he came out at the end to do signatures and everything with the fans and to meet the fans, but actually when they were training on the pitch, he was nowhere to be seen. So, you know, these injuries are stacking up already.
Yeah, one left back, one first team striker. The one thing I will say, I know, like you said, we'll do predicted lineups later. I don't want to see James Maddison on this game. Exactly why we're talking about injury. The first game back after a massive injury this isn't the game to come back and say we're tackles flying. So maybe
Newcastle is, they bloody put themselves about.
Yeah, but
you want Joe Linton on Maddison?
Oh mate, yeah, you raise a good point, but maybe a cameo against the Filth and then a bit longer against Newcastle. But we'll see. Maddison's turned up against Arsenal, hasn't he? He's been one of the players that do when he's on the pitch. So we shall see. But yeah, it's going to be tough.
It will be tough. And when you're looking back at North London derbies, I think I know what you're going to say. But what is your favourite North London derby moment?
Well, there's my Paul Gascoigne's free kick will always top it. But the very first North London derby I went to with my mates, not my parents or my dad, whatever, was the season after Naeem from the halfway line, when we had Jerry Francis as our manager. It was my first North London derby. We won 2-1, Teddy Sheringham and Chris Armstrong getting the winner. And that was an experience as a child. Well, I've been about 14, 15 at the time. You can't take back your first North London derby win that you've ever seen, like just with your mates. That one goes slightly above the Gaza free kick because I was there.
Wow.
What about you?
Have I ever told you what my first North London derby was? Because it's kind of an embarrassing one. I don't even want to mention it. My first North London derby was the one that they won at White Hart Lane, the league.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that was the first North London derby I went to.
Jesus, that's
So didn't start off on the right foot with that one.
yeah. Well, you and me had slightly different, contrasting games.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we were 2-0, down, and then we got it back with that Jamie Redknapp goal and that Robbie Keane penalty in the last couple of minutes. And actually, the stadium was buzzing at that time. I don't know if I was very young at the time, so it was just like I don't remember leaving that stadium unhappy. I remember everyone leaving that stadium happy because we got it back from 2-0 down, which is a weird dynamic.
It is. I can remember the stadium going absolutely nuts. But you've also got games that I was watching in pubs, like the 5-1 in the League Cup when we won it in 2008, the 2-0 down at the Emirates and then winning 3-2. I just remember going to Southgate Station and just waiting for the Arsenal fans to come up with about 50 Spurs fans just literally go. There's been some great moments. There's been
I was
some
there that day.
ones. Oh, also in the 4-4, when my mate phoned, and this is before smartphones, and he left when it was 4-2, and he's going mad at me, going, ha, 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 ha. I was like, what the hell are you laughing at? And he goes, 4-2. I was like, no, 4-4. And he didn't believe me. He went into a pub to find out. And from that day, we said there needs to be a 2-hour calling period after every North London derby before we speak. So there's always great memories, aren't there?
Yes, I was there at the 3-2, and I was running late that morning, and I quickly drove there, and I found any old car park I could to stick my car in, and it was one of these driveways that people rent out, that people just charging, I don't know, 10, 20 quid to put their car in. And I was the last one in, obviously. So he goes to me, make sure you're back early. And I was like, yeah, don't worry. I'll be back early. And I blocked all these cars in, and I completely forgot where I parked the car. And after the game, obviously, I'm inside the stadium celebrating for ages. We've just beaten Arsenal at the Emirates 3-2. And I finally find my way back to the car, and there's about 6 or 7 cars with people standing outside waiting for me for ages. Just all of them had Arsenal shirts on, all absolutely fuming. And I come bowling in there with my Spurs shirt, and I look at them and I was like, fucking good game, lads. And I just got in my car and drove off. Oh my God, that was brilliant.
When you told me that story, that was fantastic.
Just some amazing memories. I mean, the one of recent time, that 3-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium under Conte, that was just incredible. I think in terms of atmosphere at the new stadium, that's probably been up there with one of the best. I think maybe Bodo just about eclipsed it just last season in the semi-final. But yeah, I mean, that was one of the moments in the new stadium, not that we've had many.
That was one of the best, obviously, the Europa League final at the Scotland Yard. But that 3-0, well, and you know what? I was so annoyed with that game going into it because I was back in England, remember, and I was meant to come with you to the January one. But they obviously did the run-off because of COVID. But then obviously being back and watching that at the Scotland Yard, seeing everyone outside the ground and inside, but the Scotland Yard was going absolutely nuts. That was a wonderful memory.
Yeah. Just so many good ones. 5-1 in the Cup when we went on and won it in 2008. That was just insane. And it's just moments like that I look back and be like, I really miss White Hart Lane, man. That place was so special.
For those games, I mean, White Hart Lane was incredible for atmosphere, especially near the end. But the North London derby was always just guaranteed, no matter what. Another one I watched it in the pub was Harry Kane's first North London derby when he scored that header.
Yeah,
that header is my favourite Harry Kane goal of all of them. I love that header, and to do it like it was schoolboy's own stuff, weren't it? And his first North London derby, Spurs kid. God, mate, we could do a 3-hour stream just on memories of the NLD. So when people talk about this being a friendly, there is no friendly. There is
no friendly whatsoever. But moving on to the game tomorrow, I do expect Spurs to go strong, and I expect Arsenal to go strong as well. I do worry about this game a little bit because you look at the way that we've started pre-season, we've barely been able to have a shot on goal, never mind create clear-cut chances from open play. I think the only goals that we've scored so far under Frank have they been set pieces?
Matter Sars wasn't set pieces.
No, yeah. True.
The Vuskovic one was.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the Vuskovic one, the Lancashire one. The Kudus assisted for Vusković's, so I don't, that wasn't from a set piece. So yeah, so. But this is the thing, we've looked better defensively from set pieces. We've looked more aggressively from set pieces. Yes, the games on last Saturday were brilliant. But as many people have said and discussed, I'd rather have a poor pre-season result-wise and performance as Thomas Frank or whoever manager is, and obviously right now it's Frank, can iron out those wrinkles and see what needs to be fixed or addressed, rather than flying through a pre-season and thinking, oh, everything's ship-shape, we don't need to do anything, and then obviously it implodes. But tomorrow, like you said, it's not. Tomorrow is the one out of all the games that we play in pre-season that the result matters to me.
Well, I compare the start of this pre-season to the start of Ange's first pre-season. Like, we just started on fire that under Ange. Like, we had a clear identity about us. We could attack at will. We could create chances at will. Yes, we were open the other side as well and conceded a lot of goals that pre-season. Where the start under Frank hasn't. I mean, you've kind of seen the shape that he wants to go for, but we haven't really had a clear identity about us, about the way we go about our football, have we?
Not so far like Ange did, but I think Ange played a lot of first-team players from the start as well. Because remember, we didn't have Champions League or Europe that season. So pre-season, he could be a little bit more versatile and give players more minutes. But there's no doubt when Ange had his first pre-season, when we played Barcelona, West Ham, the football looked exquisite. The football looked exquisite. And obviously, we know the first 10 games did. Then it got figured out.
Yeah.
So, again, the football looked exquisite, got found out, and then we were in trouble. Well, not trouble, but you know what I mean, the form wavered. Not saying, look, just because we've had a poor pre-season attacking-wise or fluidity-wise means we're going to have an excellent season. But I think it shows Frank and Tottenham, when we're looking at transfers, what they may need to do, who may need to come in, assess things, and go from there. So I'd rather, I mean, Ben, you'd rather have a pre-season where questions are asked and they need to find the solution rather than just steamroll, oh my God, this is brilliant. And then obviously window closes, oh shit, we're in a bit of trouble here. So yes, I think we need to be a bit more fluid attacking-wise, but every single game, apart from I'd say the first half at Luton where you were, it hasn't been exactly the strongest team he's put out, has he?
No, it's true. It's true. It's been very a mishmash kind of approach so far with all the friendlies that we've had. But, you know, I think you're right, because sometimes you can gauge really where you're at pre-season and towards the last game or two, you can kind of tell if you're ready or not for the season. Whereas other times, you kind of get sucked into the illusion that you are ready for the season, but you're actually not. I remember that pre-season just before we got 2 points from 8 games when Darren Bent was on absolute fire. Didn't he score like 18 goals or something in that pre-season or something? We were battering teams left, right and centre. And I think, was it Roma that we played just before that season, or was it someone else? I can't remember. It was Roma. And we beat them, or maybe we drew, but you know, we looked on fire that pre-season and then we didn't get a point. We got 2 points from 8 games.
Yeah. Same happened with Hoddle. Same happened with Hoddle. This is the thing, when you have the pre-seasons, this is where you've got to find out where we are, what we've got, and how we can address problems. And hopefully Frank and the Spurs board are tuning, listening to what Frank is saying when it comes to ins and outs, and we can get the job done. But obviously, the game we're about to play, we'll hopefully see a much more full-strength squad and see what we got, and seeing them all together will be interesting to see, and hopefully that will make a big difference on the start of performance. Yeah.
I just hope the players give it as much as the fans are going to give it, because it'll be one hell of an experience for the fans out in Hong Kong. Obviously, Sim's out there, and hopefully he can teach them how it's done a little bit. But it'll be some hell of an experience for these fans out in Hong Kong to witness a North London derby in their very own backyard.
Not just that, for the players. You've got to remember, they're playing this game for the first time outside of the country, outside of London. I think they'll realise as well that, my God, we know how big this game is to the fans at home, but for the international fan base that we don't get to perform this game in front of, they'll see just how much it means to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And And I hope it still has that kind of ferocious atmosphere out in Hong Kong like it does in London, because that's what the North London derby is all about. It's all about that heat. It's all about, I don't want to say the hate, but the animosity between the two sides. That's what builds the tension in this game. One road separating the two clubs in Seven Sisters Road, and now they're playing it in Hong Kong. It is quite amazing. Don't know how it sits with me completely. I don't know if a North London derby should be played outside of London, but it is what it is. That's where we're at this moment in time, and that's what the people want to see. And I think it's going to be amazing for those fans that actually do live there. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what the atmosphere is like, and I don't doubt that both teams are going to give it their all tomorrow, and it's going to be some great viewing. I'm just a bit worried about how ready Spurs are and how ready Arsenal are going into this game. That's what worries me.
Exactly. I mean, first of all, I think atmosphere-wise, got a sneaky suspicion Spurs fans might be singing non-stop about a trophy. I have a slight feeling that will be generating a lot of atmosphere, and rightfully so. So I think the atmosphere will be a very, very good one. And like I said, this is a big moment to see how ready we are. Obviously, that lot are going to have a lot of quality additions that they've signed. We're going to get to see, and so are Arsenal fans going to get to see what they're made of and what they're capable of. They have made some quality additions. Yeah. And we'll see what we've got, if we can give as good as we got.
Gyökeres's debut most likely is going to be against Tottenham. So let's hope Romero can give him a nice little North London derby welcome to the Premier League, even though it's not in the Premier League. But yeah, I mean, it's a big opportunity for the fans to let the Arsenal fans that have travelled, which side of North London actually has that European pedigree. Who are the ones that pick up the European trophy? That's 3 Europa League UEFA Cups for Tottenham now. That is 0 for Arsenal. The only European trophies that Arsenal can pick up are ones that don't even exist anymore. They're like basically, there's no difference between Arsenal and a 3-pin plug. They can only work in England. They can't work anywhere else. So it's time for the Spurs fans to let them know that.
Damn right. Forever and a day.
Bloody Arsenal, man. They think... All I've heard from Arsenal fans when we were under Poch, it's all about the trophies. It's all about the trophies. It don't matter about where you finish in the league if you don't win trophies. And now now it's completely switched. They're like, oh yeah, but you finished 17th. It doesn't matter if you're winning trophies if you're not finishing high up in the league. Like, which one is it?
Yep, I remember this is the team that said we were being shameless with winning our Europa League success, and then continue to go absolutely nuts about the women winning the Champions League, and then saying that's a bigger trophy than the Europa League. The fan base, it's a special fan base where, so we shall see what happens. Like I said, the European pedigree is with Tottenham Hotspur. We're playing a very big game, and let's just hope Spurs get the job done. And I think we will.
Yeah, you're going for the win. You think we're going to win?
I am going for the win.
What's the score prediction?
I'm going 3-2 Tottenham.
3-2 Tottenham. I love that.
I'm going 3-2 Tottenham.
Vuskovic winner?
Vuskovic winner wouldn't be bad. Do you know what? Any winner. Own goal. Any winner against the field.
Gyökeres' own goal would be nice.
Oh, that would be music to my ears, seeing that's the striker I wanted last year. A Gyökeres, what a way to welcome him. A Gyökeres, Zabarnyi, and Madueke own goal as our 3 goals. Right, with a Kepa howler for all of them. That would be just exquisite.
Oh, man, I just can't stress this enough. Like, as much as no competitive football has started, this is our first competitive game of the season. This ain't no friendly. There is no such thing as a friendly between Tottenham and Arsenal. I don't care if anything is at stake. There's always something at stake in a game like this. There's always something at stake in a game like this. So they can't fumble this one, Tottenham. They have to go into this treating it like it is a game in the Premier League season. They have to.
They do. And I will say this, Ben, like I've said to you before when we went to the Emirates, if we do lose this game, the only thing that really matters to me when we lose to this game is obviously it's the one game you don't want to lose. But if Spurs have gone out there and put on a really, really good performance, and it's just unlucky the better team got it, like the 2-2 draw when we went and his first North London derby, I was damn proud of the Spurs lads, because we've gone to the Emirates before so many times and just not turned up, and we've taken a defeat, a whimper or a beating with no real passion, commitment, desire. And that's what you need in North London derby. So if we go there and Thomas Frank's first team plays superb football or attacking great football, give it absolutely everything, and we get a 1-goal defeat or something, then I take encouragement that the Spurs players gave everything they got, not went out with a whimper. But you never want to lose this game.
Never. Losing is no option tomorrow. It is the North London derby at the K-Tech Stadium in Hong Kong. Let us know your score predictions in the comment section below. Brian is going for 3-2 to Spurs, and I am going to go for 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. So I'll be here on the watch long with Mr. Danny Kiriakou, taking you through the events in Hong Kong. Come and join us tomorrow. Sure to be a blockbuster. But let's finish off on the stream on the predicted lineup, people. And we've got the team news that's in. We don't know fully because Frank's press conference was a couple of days ago, but in terms of the team news, we know Destiny Adogi, Kulusevski, Kota Takai, Mikey Moore, Divine and Scarlett haven't travelled. We don't even know if he's a doubt, but he went down holding his knee in open training, so we've put him down as a doubt. Solanke is a doubt. He didn't take any part in the open training. And Maddison, we're putting him as fit, as he did take part in the training. So a bit of a blow on Solanke, isn't it, Brian?
Yeah, it is. And I think it's the same injury. I don't know if it's the same ankle that he had when he first joined us. So he's had a couple of ankle injuries. He had the knee injury that kept him out for a bit. It's concerning, especially when you look at the only striking options really are Richarlison, who we all know fitness-wise going into the season, and Will Lancashire. And God knows if he'll be here if we don't send him out on loan or anything. So it is a concern that he's picked up this injury, but hopefully it is, like we said, just a knock on the precaution.
Yeah. So let's get into the predicted line. We're going to go for a 4-2-3-1 formation, as that's what we've seen for the majority of pre-season first. In goal, Antonin Kinski, probably been the more impressive out of the two so far in pre-season. But do you feel like he's going to go for Kinski, or is he going to go with the number one, who is Vicario?
I think for a North London derby, he goes Vicario.
I agree.
I think he has to go Vicario. I think if Kinski does start, it may be a big indication of where he sees it. Obviously, again, they're pre-season friendlies and whatever, but not this game. I actually think, I don't know how you feel about it, people in the chat. I think we've got 3 games on this tour. I think we see 190 minutes from Vicario, 190 minutes from Kinski, and one of them 45 minutes each. And I think this one will be one of the 90 minutes, and I think it'll be Vicario.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I think Vicario plays 90 here. Kinski plays 90 in the Newcastle game in Korea. And I feel Vicario, he'll probably want to get another 90 into him just before the PSG game. So I feel like Kinski will just get 90 minutes and Vicario will get 180.
Okay, we'll soon find out. But yeah, I think we both agree Vicario starts.
Yeah. So Vicario in goal, right back. I mean, there's only one option to go for, and that is Pedro Porro, isn't it?
Well, who knows? I mean, obviously, with that tackle yesterday, does he start with Jed Spence?
I think Jed Spence will start. But I think Porro
Jed
right back.
So I know where you're going to put Jed. So let's go Porro right then.
Yeah. So I think Pedro Porro, obviously, he was the first one back to Hotspur way for pre-season in his nice little hairstyle, bleach blonde. I think as well, like Pedro Porro, he's been one of the best players so far in pre-season that we've seen. I think he's been brilliant in the 2 games that he's played. I think he's going to be unbelievable for Frank, and he's played 2 different roles as well. He's played the role that drops a bit deeper, where it allows him to get those balls over the top to the striker, but he's also played the more advanced role as well, which he looked very good at, where he can swing those crosses in from the wide areas. So Pedro Porro at right back. At left back, it will be Jed Spence. I can't see him starting Ben Davies at left back. Can you?
You can't. I mean, you think about it, and like we said, we want to get the players playing regular minutes now and especially being tested against Premier League opposition. So I can't see anything other than Spence starting. Obviously, the heat and the humidity might get to him, and the wholesale changes. Davies may come on, but I can't see anything other than a start for Jed Spence.
Yeah, so I agree. So we've got Porro right back, Spence left back, right centre back. I think you can't look no further than Cuti Romero, can you?
You can't. You certainly can't. I think we're going to see the back five that won the Euros.
Yeah.
Spence went there, but I mean the majority. This is Romero, definitely 100%.
Yeah, I think we might see a few of those classic Romero challenges in this one.
Yeah, I think we will. And what a way to. Do you know what? If he does it in the North London derby, no matter where it is, that'll just get the fans in love with him again. Just seeing him putting in those challenges, and you can't see anything but a Romero start.
And then alongside him, I think we're going to see for the first time in this pre-season, first time under Thomas Frank, the pairing of Christian Romero and Mickey van der Ven, and it'll be good to see those two back together.
I didn't know where he was going. I was thinking, what defenders is he going to start first time? What? And then I realised where you were going. Yeah, without a doubt. This is where you need to see them playing. And do you know what? It's going to be good to see them playing. Obviously, a lot of people are saying, what type of defender will Mickey van der Ven be without having to make those last-ditch runs all the time and playing as the last man and using his pace? Well, now he's going to get the chance if we're going with the 4-2-3-1, where he hasn't got to be so high up and alert always to make those runs. But it's going to be good to see the partnership back together.
Yeah. So that is definitely the most strongest back five line with Corrigal, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven and Jed Spence. It gets a bit interesting now when we talk about the midfield areas. We know Maddison is just coming back. Is he going to get thrown straight in there in the number 10? In the deeper roles, I think Lucas Bergvall starts. Would you say to that?
He hasn't looked right. He started against Reading, didn't he? Oh, sorry. Yeah, was it Reading? Yeah. He started against Reading. He hasn't looked himself, but I think he needs to get minutes in his legs coming back from the injury, doesn't he? He's one that's further ahead, obviously, than Madders. So, yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
So we'll go for Bergvall in one of the sitting positions. Alongside Bergvall, we're looking at a Sarr, a Bentancur, Bissouma, Gray. I've got a feeling he's going to go with Bentancur.
So you and me are on the same page again. After the Leicester discussion, I think he's got to. If Bissouma is a viable target for West Ham, I know we were going on about MGW paying for knots. If do you want to risk getting him injured, especially in a North London derby? Bentancur, I see starting, but I'm starting to get very concerned about Bentancur's contract. Very concerned how long it's taken, and obviously we're talking about Jed Spence getting one, Mikey Moore, but yeah, I can't see anything other than these two.
So I mean, if it is Lucas Bergvall and Bentancur in that double pivot, who's going to start the 10? Is he going to throw Maddison straight back in there? Sarr actually played there and scored 2 goals against Wickham. Which way are we going to go with this? It could even be a Mohamed Kudus that plays the 10 role.
It could be. Joe, I wouldn't want to see Maddison personally because of the game, but obviously Thomas Frank knows best, and the Spurs medical team and coaches. Maybe it will be Madders. Maybe it will be Maddison. I think we do. Joe, what? I think let's go Maddison, because if you look at it, one of the things we have been saying in this pre-season is we have been lacking creativity up top, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's something that you can clearly see that has been missing, and we need to see a bit more of it. So, yeah, let's go Madders.
I feel like if he is going to start Madders, he'll only play in 45, though.
Yeah.
And then maybe he'll bring on a Sarr and put Bergvall out in a 10, or put a Sarr in a 10, or move Kudus into the middle, yeah.
There's options.
So, yeah, that's the middle three that we're going to go for. We're going to go for Bergvall, Bentancur, and James Maddison. On the right-hand side of the attack, I think there are options. We've got Brennan Johnson there. We've got Mohamed Kudus there. We've got Odebear that could potentially play there. And Odebear actually looked really good in the game that he played at Hotspur Way against Wickham. But I do feel like Mohamed Kudus is going to start this game at right wing.
Again, completely agree. We've just been saying this is where he needs to see the first team gelling together and getting minutes. it's got to be Kudus. But I will say, like you said, Odegaard, I think, looked brighter than he has done in a long, long time when he starts against Reading. He looked more direct. His passing looked a lot crisper. But yeah, you can't not start Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah. On the left-hand side, I do believe it will be Sonny that starts the game. But I do think Sonny will probably go off at half-time to see other players get some minutes. But we all know that Son is contractually obliged to play in the games on the tour.
Yeah, I mean, whatever way you look at it, Sonny's definitely playing. But will he come on? Will Frank do the half and half captain again? And also the other way, I think Son may even be on the bench personally. But the only reason I say that is these rumours, like we said, of him going, look like they really are advancing. And if he wants to get his first team, but I suppose he could do that in the second half. So yeah, let's carry on with Son starting and getting 45.
Yeah, so Son, Maddison, Mohamed Kudus, and then in the number 9 position, seeing as Solanke was nowhere near the open training, it's got to be El Pombo, Richarlison.
It has. And do you know what? He needs a good game. He was not exactly razor sharp and at it against Reading. Had a couple of opportunities. Yeah, it's got to be him. It's got to be him. And hopefully, let's just hope he doesn't pick up an injury.
Yeah, I mean, from that team there, I would say that Richarlison and Son, them two are the ones that probably need to step it up from what we've seen so far in pre-season. I'm a bit different to you because I think Lucas Bergvall for me was really poor in the first game, but I thought it was much better in the second game. So I think he's on an upward trajectory. The rest of them, I think, have been decent so far in pre-season, individually anyway. So that is the lineup that we're going to go for. Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Jed Spence left back, a back two of Romero and Mickey van de Ven, Bergvall, Bentancur and Maddison in the middle three, with Maddison being in the 10, Kudus on the right, Sonny on the left, and Richarlison up top. We've already given our predictions. Brian's gone for 3-2. I have gone for 2-1. Losing is no option in this one. We have to. It doesn't matter. There is no such thing as a friendly when it comes to Spurs and Arsenal. So I want to know what you think the predicted lineup's going to be. And don't get it twisted. This might be the lineup, but there'll be a host of changes in this game. And I think a lot of players, like your Brennan Johnsons, like your Bissoumas, are all going to get some minutes in this game as well. It does remain to be seen, though. Like, will Richarlison play the whole 90 with Solanke being out? That would be an interesting one.
It will be. It will be. But can we trust him to fulfil that? And I think depending on what Solanke's injury is, and if we need to manage his minutes for both, if he needed to start the season, if we're trying to get him out the door, I think Lancashire will get minutes. Again, that could be to put him in the shop window for a loan. We'll see off this game. I mean, I still think a striker is a must-have for us in this window. But hopefully Richie can have bag a couple of goals into that tomorrow.
Well, there you have it, guys. That is your predicted lineup. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Would you go with this one, or would you make some changes going into the North London derby tomorrow? It's 12:30 or 12 o'clock kickoff. Is it 12 or 12:30?
12:30.
Yeah, 12:30 kickoff. We'll be here for the watch long as per usual. Come and tune in, and it'll be time for the post-match fan show where you can join the likes of this man, Mr. Daigle, on the post-match fan show to have your say on the game. So join us there, and yeah, like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs. And just before you take us off air, how many are we away, Daigle? We need to know.
How many away? Let's have a little looky. We are, and once again, thank you to everyone who has become a new subscriber to the channel, as well as the old ones.
Well, there's actually someone that's called Sub to Tottenham on Tour for Mr. Brian Daigle has left a super chat that says, Sub to Tottenham on Tour, Mr. Brian Daigle deserves it.
Yep, we're down to 70.
Who is that? Is that you, Brian?
No, someone who comes on. It's someone that's been watching the channel for ages, but they have changed their name. They always appear.
It's crazy rat, isn't it?
Who knows who it could be? So yeah, but thank you. Yeah, I don't know the exact amount. We've picked up a few more, but not many. But We'll get there. We'll get there.
So what's it saying?
It says at the moment we're on 9,920 something, so we're down to 70 something. But I just can't.
Come on,
because
people.
I don't have access to YouTube Studio at the moment. So
come on, people. Only 70 to go.
70 something, yeah.
70 something to go. There's 858 people in here. Only 70 of you need to go over to Tottenham on Tour right now and hit that subscribe button. The link is in the live chat right now. That's all you need to do for them. Great. Look at this man. Look at this guy, Mr. Brian Daigle. Of course you want to subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, some will. Some will. There are some that wouldn't. There are some that wouldn't for whatever reason. But yes, it doesn't matter. Listen, it's all good fun. It's all about the love for Tottenham Hotspur. People have views that are very, very different to mine on a lot of things when it comes to Tottenham. But it's all respectful from my end. And if you join, welcome to the family. There'll be a lot of content coming on this, especially with the Thomas Frank appointment, who I have wanted for ages. And it's just going to be good fun, people.
Yeah, so 993 now.
There we go, we're going.
We're on our way. We're on our way to the 10K. We're on our way.
And another... we get there, hit the subs.
This is a members chat from Ethan Y saying, Sirkin, Paqueta, El Canus and Paulinho by the end of the window. Are you happy? Are
Sirkin, Sirkin, I think, is going to become a necessity, isn't it, for the homegrown? So that is, unless we went, right, we're going to push the bat out, forget homegrown Anthony Robinson. Paqueta, I think, is a good player. I do think he's a good player. I really do. Paulinho, I've stated on many occasions how much of a fan of his I am. So, would I be happy? Let's put it this way: I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset with that.
For me, we wouldn't sign Paqueta and El Canus. It's one or the other. You know what I mean? Because Paqueta's like an 8/10.
So if you could, let's put it that way, Ben. Let me ask you that: if you could sign a Paqueta or an El Canus, who would you sign?
Paqueta.
Okay.
For sure. Paqueta is the caliber, is the stature of player that I've wanted going into this window. All I was saying on El Canus before, if we were to sign him, I do think he's a good player. I do think he holds a lot of value coming into the squad next season, and it all depends on who else we bring in for me to judge the window.
That part, like I said, that part I constantly agree with you.
Yeah.
I look forward to the comments on YouTube, seeing how misinterpreted I've been in what I was trying to say in that discussion. I look forward to that. But yeah, like I said, Paulinho, I think, will be a great addition. But I think that one drags on till the end of the season. I mean, we've seen as well people talking about the fee again, hasn't it? Apparently it was all going down, and now apparently it's up at 42 million or something, which I don't see. I think a smart move will be go get him on loan for the season. And use the transfer budget for other players. But if it's only a buy option, like you buy him now and that's it, if we sign him, I will be extremely happy if we get Paulinho.
And the last members chat is from our friend Ariane, and he said, if someone told you the things that have happened since the Europa League final, and sacked and one quality starting signing, would you have guessed that we won? Probably, because I just know how this club acts. That's the sad state of affairs.
Yeah, when a certain man says springboard for success, like I said, every time his lips move and he's talking football, he's lying. Ariane, you're bang on. This is it. This is what we do.
Yeah, this is what we do. But look, we're gonna leave it there, guys. Just one quick look at Tottenham on tour, see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. Where is it? 60 more to go, Brian. 60 more.
We're getting there, mate. We've got all week. I'm going to be doing a couple of bits on Tottenham on tour, maybe another. I'm putting together a few scripts, ready to read out my rants like I did. Not just rants, actually. Some are actually positive. I love doing that video. It's been very well received. And I'm going to be doing more of them. So we'll get there. We'll get there. But obviously, when we get there, it's a massive milestone. And a lot of it is down to me appearing on this channel and being on this channel and our friendship and what we do for each other. So it'll be a mammoth achievement to get it whilst I'm on screen with you.
Yeah. And I cannot wait for it. You were on We Are Tottenham TV when we hit the 100K, and now you're going to be on We Are Tottenham TV when you hit the 10K. So all good things.
This is how we do it. This is it.
Well, we'll see you all tomorrow, people. Watch along. Just before 12 o'clock, we'll be going live, 11:45. Be there or be square. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, Company Spurs.
Company Spurs.